Well, hello all and welcome to Wayne's Allotment. One of the advantages, that's the bottom of my garden where you can see the fence there, and I've got a wife that loves me. Well, I think so. It makes me cups of coffee. There's a train coming, let's let this go. Right. Oh, that was a bit warm. Put my coffee down and I'll be back. Right, well, hello all, I'm here now. You've got my full undivided attention. Plot tour, that's what we've got here. I've done one or two bits of jobs. The garlic, I've got the garlic to get up, but I'm leaving it where it is so that I can show it you as it is, and then I'll show you it once I'm up. There's one or two little things that I want to point out, and I've pulled some netting back off something to show you, but without me babbling on, let's get started. We'll start down the other end where my potatoes are, we'll work back up to here, and I'll give you a plot tour. Well, as you can see, looking down here, potatoes. I've got 2 rows of Charlotte, then the next 2 rows are Maris Piper. Never done Maris Piper before, it's the first year. I've done Charlottes, I've done those for quite a few years, and only a few, probably about a week ago, this was a massive flower. The flowers are coming on the Maris Piper, but the Charlottes, they were just a mass, and they're obviously, till I get them up, I don't know what they're going to be like. But what I'm thinking of doing this year with them is only getting up what I want, rather than do sort of dig everything up and look at this, I've got, you know, 400 pound of potatoes off 10 plant, you know, that type of thing. Slight exaggeration there, I know, but you know, rather than just sort of getting them all up and sort of having wheelbarrow loads of potatoes and then having to store them at home, I'm thinking, so long as they're a-okay the first few plants that I get up, leave them in and get them up when I want them. Makes sense to me, so why not? So I'll spin you around from where you are and show you what else is going on the plot. This is the opposite end. This is where you were just standing. This is the opposite end of my potato rows, and these are my beans. I've got 2 varieties in here. The far side a Cobra, and this side Blue Lake. Never done Blue Lake before. They've only gone, I've had what, 10 plants. Didn't have very good germination with the Blue Lake, I don't know why, but hey ho, we're dealing with nature, and anything can happen, can't it, with nature? So what I've done is a couple of sunflowers in there, and then some sweet peas. What I will do before I go home today is I'll start and string these few canes together for the sweet peas to go up. But I'm quite pleased with it all. There's the beans are winding themselves round these canes nicely. There's a few flowers coming. No beans as such yet. It wants a bit of weeding, yeah, but you know, I'm pleased with it. It's simple as that. So yeah, it's all pretty good. So I'll show you the onions, and I'll show you some of my winter brassicas. Okay, so we're now here with the onions. These under the netting are also growing through weed suppressant membrane. There's some weeds come up in amongst the onions. I get it every year, we all do, don't we? These are out in the open, and the varieties I've got along here is I've got Centurion, they're onion sets. They're a normal white onion. I've got red fen, which is a heat treated red onion, and I've also got some called Exhibition that I've grown from seed, and this year has been the first year in since I've had an allotment. I think it's about 6 years I've had an allotment, and this year has been the first year I've had any real success in growing onions from seed, and that's down to advice from people out in YouTube land. Simple as that. Three that spring to mind, but there are others, so sorry if I don't mention your name. But Nigel Muddy Boots, top man, he gave me some good advice. Terry King, another top banana, he gave me some advice as well. And Andy, I think his YouTube channel is something like, I think it's Andy something like 1706 76 or something, but again, Andy, top bloke, thanks for the advice. And others, I've picked advice up off other people as well, and I've really done well with growing onions from seed this year. I'm really chuffed to bits about it. I'll bring you in and just give you a bit of a closer look at some of these that are out here. Yes, it wants weeding, but you know, we'll get round to it. But I'll show you some of the, it's mainly the red here, but I'll get you closer in and you can see how they're doing. Okay, these are the red fen, heat treated. Not grown these before, but you know, they're looking good. Very pleased with them. And under the net there's some under there that are doing just as well, so I'm really pleased with all of those. So I'll now show you some of my winter brassicas. Under here I've got some purple sprouting broccoli, which is these 6 plants at the back, and the rest is January King cabbage. They went in, they've probably been in about 3 weeks now. Yeah, about 4 weeks I think actually they went in. Just needs a little bit of weeding through there, but they're doing well. I'm very pleased with them. As I say, pardon me, as I say, once they're basically a winter crop. They won't be, I won't be looking at harvesting any of those till around about December, hopefully. Go through into January, especially with the purple sprouting broccoli. And as with a lot of stuff, I'm very pleased with it, very pleased. So let's move on to the other side of this path, to the rest of the plot. This bed here, now I've got this netting on here. This is the bed that was, if you remember in my previous video, I said about making a seed bed for carrots this year. Never done it before and decided this was going to be the bed. I'd sown 4 rows of carrots along here and not a single one came up. Weeds abound, they came up really well. So I cleared it out, sorted it all, left it with just these hoops and took the other netting off, and then I've put this in place now because I put these lettuce in. These have been in about a week, and I've noticed there's 1 or 2 the birds have been having a bit of a go at them, so I thought, right, we'll put the bird netting on, but I've just taken it off to show you guys what I've got here. And I've got little gem we got there, little gem lettuce. I've got some drunken woman, I've got some spring onion that I've put in down the bottom there, and then at the far end I've sown a couple of rows of beetroot, and another row of carrots, and we're gonna I'm determined to get some carrots come up. So I've sown them in there. I've done them today. The beetroot is solo, and the carrots are I think is it Autumn King 2 or something. So I shall, obviously before I go today, I'll put the netting back, but I just thought I'd show you all what's going on with them. So I'll now show you the garlic and the broad beans. Before I move over to the garlic and the broad beans, I just thought I'd show you some of the apples on my little trees. These here, got a few apples here, and then over here, as you can see, plenty of apples coming. And then if we move over here, there's quite a few pears. I'm just hoping that I don't lose too many. As you can see, there's plenty on there. I think this is probably the best year I've had. Some of these are going a bit, they've gone a bit hard there, but we'll see how they go. But yeah, nice little harvest of pears and apples there. So we'll move on now to the garlic. So here we are with the garlic. I'm going to get all this up. What I've got here is, this row nearest to me is Solent White, and the row that side there is elephant garlic. That's one of the elephant garlic that I've just taken up from there. Very pleased with that. And this is the Solent White. As you can see, the elephant garlic isn't much bigger than the Solent White. Funny that, and it's funny there because I looked on one of the seed suppliers a couple of nights ago, because I'm thinking of putting an order in for some more, and in there it said about this Solent White, about that if it grows well, it's not much smaller than elephant garlic, and you know, that proves it. As you can see, there's not a lot of difference at all there. So they'll all be coming up before we move on. The broad beans, we've had a couple of feeds off them. There's probably one feed left to take off there. Something's been having a feed on these anyway as well. These leaves have got more holes in them than a colander, so it's definitely a case of stripping them out. So let's take you on to the next bed. Right, in here is the remnants of peas. If I'm on Instagram, by the way, under Wayne's Allotment, and if any of you have already follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I posted some pictures with regards to broad beans and the first lot of peas that we've had on there. So please, when you get time, just pop along and follow me. It'd be very much appreciated. But in here is some onions, and these are a variety called Exhibition. These are some that I'd grown, again I've grown from seed, and I'm really pleased. Really am very pleased with them. And behind me is that bed there. You've seen that I've put the lettuce in, so we'll make our way up towards the end of the plot. Okay, so this end of the bed, starting at the very end there, I've got parsnips. They were just direct sown. I couldn't, the way I like to do these, my parsnips, is to make a big hole in the ground, fill it with compost, 2 or 3 seeds on the top, and then thin them out once they start and get themselves established. And I try and do that around about March, April. And with it being so wet this year, I just never got round to it. It just, when the weather was decent, I was at work. Any other time it just rained and this does tend to flood a bit in places, so it was a no-no. So in desperation, I just literally with my hand just made a row, bang, seed in, and they're coming along nicely. I'll thin one or two a bit later, but I'm going to leave them so that they get sort of baby carrot size, because we'll still eat them then. Really nice. And then here, these are turnips. Now I've taken the netting off the one because something, I don't know what, I'm assuming it must be slugs or something, is having a feast off these leaves. It happened last year. Now I can't imagine it being cabbage white butterfly because I've not seen any caterpillars on any of these, and I've not seen any cabbage white butterflies for a while, so I don't think they're about. But having said that, the swede themselves aren't doing too bad. And then over here is my sprouts. I've got Maximus, Crispus, and I forget what the other variety is, but they were a seed set that somebody, I don't know whether it was Marshall's or Mr. Fothergill, somebody was offering, and it worked out cheaper to buy the set than to buy the 3 packs of seed separately. And yeah, doing really well. They need a little bit of thinning out, but all in all they're quite healthy plant, well, they're very healthy plants, and they're doing really well. So let's move down the plot a bit. And here we are, another row of peas. This was the second row to go in. As you can see, oodles of flowers on these at the moment, doing really well. Next to them is some more of those exhibition onion from seed. Wants a bit of weeding, but they're doing they're doing very well. I'm more than you've probably gathered that I'm very happy with the onions I've grown from seed this year, because it's almost bordering on a miracle for me. But there we have it, some more peas there that I've done. Next to there then is some butternut squash. Not quite sure why it's gone. The leaves over this last week or so, the leaves have suddenly gone a bit yellow. Needs weeding around there. I mean, this part of the plot, it's had nothing in it, and that's just a mass of weeds, but when I get round to doing it, I'll do something about it. Up until then, it'll stay as it is, you know. So yeah, that's that little bit done. So I'll spin you around and show you what's going on down here. Right, this is another bed of peas. They're podding quite well actually, but I'm going to give these another week or two before start to harvest them, because there's still quite a few pods that haven't filled out, so we'll leave them a while. I've got a little bit of sweet corn that I put in the front and interplanted it. Obviously you can't see from there, but I've put a bit of lettuce in between those, and I've done the same in here with the lettuce in amongst the sweet corn. And this is obviously, as you can tell, my main bed of sweet corn. The reason for this netting, now what I've done, why I've put this up, is twofold really. When the plants first go in, this acts as a bit of a windbreak, stops them getting blown about and possibly broken off. But also I've found that with this netting up, things like badgers and so on, I think about 3 years ago I didn't do this, and about literally 2 or 3 days before I was due to harvest the sweet corn, they got flattened and there was cobs strewn around, and somebody on the plot said, oh, that'll be a badger. Badger's been in and had the sweet corn. So the following year I did this, not a problem, and touch wood, every year I've done this, it's helped as a windbreak, and also head badgers, which we do have on site, have been nowhere near it, so that's been a good thing. This bed, there's a bit of lettuce, bit of fat lazy blonde is the variety just at the end there, and then this bed had the Ironman Calabrese in it. I've harvested all that, and rather than putting a cross in the top of the plant, which is what I would normally do, because I'd done a secondary sowing, I've put some more in to try and get another harvest a little bit later in the year. And then as we move on then, this bed here, this is cauliflower. There's nothing, I've had a look, but there's nothing hearting up yet. I think I've got a strug sprout in there. I don't know why, I don't know how that's happened, but yeah, but this is the cauliflower, and it's coming along nicely. They're healthy plants, that's the main thing. They're nice healthy plants, so that accounts for a lot. End of. So I'll just show you this last little bit over here before we go, and just look at this. Fantastic, look at that flower head of 4 there, another 4 on there, 3 on there, just absolutely fantastic. These sweet peas, these are from Andy, and I say it every time, but once again, Andy, if you're watching, thank you very much for supplying these seeds. This is as much a credit to you as anybody else, Andy, so thank you very much. The variety is called Hilda's Mix, as I've just said, it comes from Andy. I'm going to take as many of these off as I can so that it'll carry on producing some more flowers, but that, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. Just absolutely superb. So we're now starting to come up towards the end of the plot here now. On here, under that netting, I've got some leeks. In the past, I've always done about 50 or 60, not more, leeks, and every single year I've ended up throwing a lot away because they've gone past it. You know, they've been left in the ground, they've been harvested, and there's been a lot left in. We're not real big eaters of leeks, so this year I've gone totally the other way, and I think I've got 18 in there, and that's it. And I can't see that being a problem at all. Next to them then I've got some Chogia beetroot. That's doing really nice. There's 1 or 2 that are just a little bit smaller than tennis ball size, so they're coming along nicely. I've got spring onions here, and I don't know why. Now at first I thought, is it a fox or a badger or what, but it could be just a cat, but something's lain on these and just pushed them over. I don't know why, but I'm going to have one of these bunches up anyway to take home for when I do my sandwiches for work. I like to take 3 or 4 spring onions with me and eat them with my sandwiches. I'll just move you up to here to show you what I've got growing in here. Okay, and in here I've got some Swiss chard. Been having pickings off that slowly. Some more spring onions there, and a few sweet corn left over. I've had very, very good germination of sweet corn this year. I don't think I've had a single one fail. Then I've got some more parsnips sown down there, and some more beetroot here. These are Bolt Hardy, going along there and down here, and they're not massive, but they're coming along nicely, nice and steady. Slowly catch a monkey is the saying. So they're coming along quite nice. I'm now just going to show you my little bit of a flower bed I've got over there, and then that's that's everything all up to speed. Right, this flower bed here, as you can see, it's mainly nasturtiums. Down here I have got some convolvulus. They're in the back here as well. Got a bit swamped out by the nasturtiums, but it's fantastic. I mean, the contrast, you know, you got your nasturtium and then the purple, white, yellow of the convolvulus. Just really, that's lovely. Really do like that. And that's it really. That's all, everything. That's my plot tour for July. Thank you all very much for watching. And I'll just show you the garlic, and that'll be it. Here's all the garlic. This is Provence White. Very pleased with this. Not got one that's missed at all. Elephant garlic, just, you know, these are massive. I'm really pleased. First year I've ever grown elephant garlic, and to be perfectly honest, I mean, that broke off as I was pulling it out. But when you look at that, and then like that's Solent White, I mean, I could tell you that was elephant garlic, because there's not much difference. Now that's you can take that two ways really. That you could take that the Solent White's grown really well, or you could take it, the elephant garlic hasn't done that well. But either way, I'm chuffed to bits with this. Very pleased. It's real good harvest. Elephant, as I say, never done before. Definitely going to do it again. So that's it. That's me plot tour for July 2021. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope I've entertained you as well. And please like, comment and subscribe if you feel like it. And I'll see you again in the next one. Ta-ra a bit.